What's going on, guys? We're back with a brand new video. In today's video we're doing a Fremantle 2021 season preview. So I'm going to continue on the series. You guys have been loving this and I'm glad I'm bringing in different fans from different AFL teams, and hopefully you can all subscribe and we can all just enjoy the videos together. So for our fans, there actually is quite a lot of you, even though this team did join into the AFL like mid-90s, I'm pretty sure. But there's so many Freo fans, and I see why this team is so up and coming with like players like Sarong, which just won the Rising Star, Andrew Brayshaw, Adam Chera, Michael Frederick, like players like that. And it's not like they're a bad team. Like last year, I reckon that there was a normal 22 rounds that they could have actually made the 8. That's just how damaging they were at the back half of the year, all built off like the ability to kick the footy, because I swear they have so many great kicks in their team, and the young players that they have bring in all are just absolutely amazing kicks. And the thing is, all last year they had no key defenders. They turned Brendan Cox, that was originally a key forward, into a key defender, and I feel like he'll be almost like a key defender for the rest of his career because of how great he actually did perform in that Freo team. So without further ado, let's get straight into what I think every player will do. First up, a breakout player, I've gone with Adam Chera. Now this man, kind of like his mate in crime, Andrew Brayshaw, did start off his career a bit slower than every other rookie, but he just developed so good last year, and I don't feel like he broke out. And the reason I don't have, you're probably thinking, where's Andrew Brayshaw? Because I kind of feel like he already broke out in 2020, so I wasn't going to put him for 2021 also. So I've gone with this man that kind of did have a little bit of a breakout season. I feel like he'll break out like Andrew Brayshaw did last year into an absolute star. He's an absolute great kick of the footy. I wonder if he'll go into a bit of a guts, because he's been a bit of a wingman his whole career and even coming off half back, so he might get a bit of guts action, but he's such a good kick, and I love his endurance and his speed and all that, which I feel like will be so great for this Freo team and how their game style plays. So that's why I've gone for him as breakout player. Next up, for needs to improve, I've gone with Connor Blakely. Now this man, I was a bit like hesitant of actually who to put, because I feel like everyone actually had a good season that stood up, because they were not like meant to have as good of a season they actually end up having. So I feel like Connor Blakely, he got his contract extended a few years ago when Ross Lyon was there, and he was meant to be a great inside mid, but you kind of feel like he's just fallen away into barely even getting a game for this Freo side anymore. And I'm not sure if this man's actually in their plans for the future, because right now he seems like he's not. I think he played like a couple games this year, but I feel like if John Longmire or Justin Longmire actually has like plans for this man to be in the team for the long term, that they might play him, but I'm not sure what they actually have. I know they put him on the trade market this year, but I think he said that he does want to actually contribute to this team, and if they can get the most out of this man, he was highly rated a few years ago, and if he can get back on track, he'll help out their midfield when like David Mundy and all that stuff retires. For the BNF winner, I've gone with Andrew Brayshaw. Now I mentioned this man before as having a breakout year in 2020, and he's just developing so well. He even made Nat 5 not even play midfield pretty much all last year, was pretty much playing as a forward, and I feel like Nat 5 will do the same next year, and that's why I gave this man the BNF. Luke Ryan ended up winning it as an absolute surprise packet of 2020, and I feel like Andrew Brayshaw could easily win this. I feel like he'll even have a 10 times better year than what he had in 2020, and he already had an excellent year at that. Become one of the best young midfielders in the competition, and going along with some of the players that they've got in that midfield that's young, they've got like Adam Chera, James Ace is pretty young, they got Blake Acres that came along for St Kilda as a big inside mid, Andrew Brayshaw as I'm mentioning now, and Caleb Sarong. Like that's a great young midfield group. They go along with like the experienced pieces like Nat 5 that will go in there quite a bit next year, and David Mundy. Like that's a good midfield group. They could actually push these guys to the finals in 2021 if they actually play up to their potential and even higher. Next up, I've gone with the big improver. I've gone with Hayden Young. Now this man was last year my original pick for the Rising Star. Just how great this man I thought would, and how he could translate his talents into the AFL competition. And it ended up being his running mate, Caleb Sarong, that ended up winning the Rising Star. But I feel like if this man actually played a full season, who knows what this man could have done. He played every game until he ended up breaking his ankle against St Kilda, which was very sad to see, because he's one of my favourite players for that Fremantle team. Great innocent marking, knows how to read the ball, He's pretty tough, and he's absolutely a great kick of the footy. He's a laser beam with the football, and he'll fit in perfectly with how their game style plays out as a big kick and mark type team, and it pretty much just takes apart teams, and this man will be a big part of how good Freo will be in 2021. Next up, I've gone most goals, and no real surprises here. I've gone with Matt Tabner. Now this man, his whole career has been looked at as kind of an underperforming key forward, but for some reason he came out in 2020 and absolutely dominated. It was pretty much him as a solo key forward, with Rory Lobb and Sean Darcy coming down a little bit to help out, but this man was pretty much kind of playing kind of like Tom Hawkins and Charlie Dixon type of key forward role, and he hit it perfectly. I think he was top 10 in the comp in goals, even maybe top 5, depending when you looked at it. So this man was in the common medal race and even All-Australian race, to say that. He just got beaten out by the bigger players like Charlie Dixon and Tom Hawkins, but I would not be surprised if this man actually ended up being an All-Australian in the 2021 season. That's just how good this man was. I actually thought this man was younger than when I looked. I thought he was about like 25, 24, but I looked at it and he's turning 28, which was very, like, I feel like I've not seen this man in the AFL for that many years. So yeah, I've got him for the most goals, and I feel like he could kick around even like 50 to 60 if he continues his form from 2020. But more like if he kind of has a little bit of a step back, he could kick about 40 to 50. But if he kicks 60, then if he just played kick 60, I reckon Fremantle playing finals in 2021. That's just how impactful this man is. Now it's time to take a look at the Fremantle Best 22 for 2021. So I've got like Hayden Young, who was my big improver, and the key defence position was a really weird one when I was trying to pick this team. I've gone with Alex Pearce and Brendan Cox. I know Joel Hamling still has to come in, but I feel like they'll choose Alex Pearce, who was pretty much all Australian level in 2019 before he broke his ankle, and Brendan Cox, who was 22 years old and was playing at an elite level this year when he had to play as the biggest defender, and him taking the second defender when Alex Pearce comes back will help him so much, and I feel like they should choose him over an older Joel Hamling. And then Luke Ryan, of course. Stephen Hill. Now, I'm not sure if Stephen Hill actually will play this many games. I have him listed here, but he's kind of been a bit of a, I know, just an average footballer. He's been injured absolutely so many times over the few years, over the past years, ever since Fremantle kind of got over their successful stage. And that midfield group that I'm talking about, and I don't have Nat Fyfe named in the midfield, and you're probably wondering, do you know anything about like Freo football? And I'm like, that Fyfe played more half forward than he did midfield this year, and I feel like that if they give Blake Acres the big body midfield role this year, he could really develop. That game against Richmond when he had 30 touches and he kicked a goal, I'm like, this man is literally perfect for this midfielder. They've got Andrew Brayshaw, who's a pretty big midfielder, and then they got like Caleb Sarong, so they need, and then they have the pace from the outside with Adam Chera and James Aish that can both actually go into the midfield when needed. And if they need a bit of spark, they still have Michael Walters and Nat Fyfe, and like players like that can still come into this group. And then they have the experienced heads like David Mundy and Nat Fyfe to go in there. And I picked a few small forwards, but who knows how the small forwards will go. I picked Croden, Schultz, Henry and Frederick. So hopefully, Freo fans, that's how you think this team will look in 2021. Yeah, so there's so much upside to this Fremantle team, but I am finishing 12th, but I could see them easily squeezing into that 8th position, or they could even go further to go to like, you know, the 15th or 14th position. This team has so much unknown to it. It's kind of like this Essendon, except has higher upside, I feel, than Essendon. They have so many young players that if these guys develop right, like, it's not like, you can't say that they're going to go up. I think they did finish 12th this year. I could be wrong. They finished around 12th in 2020, but I feel like that this team didn't bring anyone apart from the draftees like Chapman. So I feel like that it's just off improvement. If their players improve, which I expect them to, they'll go up the ladder. But if they don't, then they'll probably stay around this 12th, 11th, 13th position. So that's why I have them finishing at 12th in 2021. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to drop a like on this video. Try to get to like 30 likes or something. That's what I'm trying to hit with every video. And we're on the road to 300 subscribers. So we're so close to it. So please hit that subscribe button. And that's been the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe. Turn on that post notifications. And thanks for watching.